Good evening, everyone! Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Viciousin. Talking about Raw this week was in Tampa, Florida, the big Raw reunion show. Now, before we get into that, gonna go over some quick news, but before we do that, one quick note, I do want to personally address last week's episode. Probably hands down one of the most thankful episodes I've done. I've had a lot of people come out and say, hey, thanks, really like the show, love the opinion, love the attitude you always have with it, things of that nature. A lot of people that I know, people that I appreciate, people I didn't know that just randomly found it from me plugging it out there as a promoter via the Twitter, Tim Vicious and all that. But everyone that, and I say this and it sounds like a cliche, but honest to God, I mean it. From the bottom of my cold black heart, every one of you that watches, likes, shares this show, thank you so much. I do this for all of you beautifully crazy ass bastards that sit there and want to hear a madman with a camera ramble. Now, with that said, let's get into the other news. Earlier today, as of the day of the recording of this show, AEW wound up having a Twitter account. AEW TNT wound up tweeting out, we have big news coming up soon, which blew everyone's minds because they were like, oh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Folks, this is all it is. They're simply hyping up to lead into when they're going to announce the debut episodes. I'm not saying don't get hyped because, yeah, you know, shit, I'm not going to lie. I was hyped for Lucha Underground when they were first showing bits for it, you know, before the show premiered. I was hyped as shit. I wanted to see it. I was like, fuck yeah. You know? Enjoy whatever wrestling you like. You like comedy wrestling? That's great. You like serious wrestling? That's great. You like Japanese, lucha, ultra-violent, deathmatch, you know? Yeah, freaking any kind. Wrestling is the ultimate form of pure fun and entertainment. Because at the end of the day, as fans, that's what we are seeing and that's what we are taking in. Entertainment. Yes, it's on a physical combat sport-like level, but it's still entertainment because how many, you know, and God bless, I love using this analogy. How many other sports out there, other than wrestling, can you say you had a 7-foot, damn near 400-pound man lift and tip over a semi-truck short from pro wrestling? You know? How many other sports, other than wrestling, can you say you've had fights that had stipulations that involved a man's mother on a pole? Okay, maybe not one of the best highlights for using an analogy for wrestling, but you get my point. Wrestling is fun. It's for everyone. You know, everyone's got their kick. Everyone's got their kick on what they like and what they don't like. Let the people enjoy what they like. You like WWE? Awesome. You like AEW? Awesome. You like Combat Zone? Awesome. Evolve? Awesome. Chikara? Lucha Underground? Ring of Honor? I don't give a shit. You like wrestling? You're cool. Just don't shit on other people for liking something that you may not. That's all I ask. Now, with that said, let's get into the show. Raw's in Tampa, Florida. It's the big Raw reunion show, and it starts off with John Cena finally coming back. One thing though did get brought up, and I saw it on my Twitter, did make me scratch my head and think, does John have that soccer dad haircut under his hat still? I'm serious. I kind of want to know that now. But anyways, John comes out. Crowd is hyped up for it, loving it. John just looks at him like, oh, I had to be gone all this time for you guys just to like me? Which, best way to open it. Best way. Hands down. Now, John, I've given Cena a lot of shit in the past, and I do not hide that, and I stand by what I said at those points. Honestly, at those points, he was being fed to us way more than we should have been given, and it was to the point it was getting toxic. Now, at this point in John's career, he don't need to wrestle. He hasn't wrestled in, and I mean an actual legitimate match, Christ, in God knows how many years. You know? But now he's at the point where he's very much so like Rock. You know? And I died laughing because he almost took a page directly out of Rock's book, because he started talking about on how it's home for him, and how it's home, and on how it will always be his home, which were almost the exact mirrored words Rock said before he started shitting on John. Because he said Rock is home, he's going to be home, he's always home, and then he left, and then John used those exact words on him later when they were building up their feud. You know? Just, no. John, those kind of promos come back to bite you in the ass, man. And now that you're doing the exact same thing that the man you screamed at over, dude, not cool. Not cool. It's not. It's all that shit's gonna come back and haunt you. You know, just like, hey, if y'all want to go back and watch some of the other shit that I've said and done on here and come back and have it bite me in the ass, I got no problem with it. You put that plate of crow down, I'll eat it. You know, but fuck. Just be ready. I may come back. If you throw shit at me, I'll throw shit back at you. Now I say that because just as John was about to go, out come the Usos, which, you know, I'm not going to lie, it's hard to tell which is a little more annoying for me. Uso penitentiary baby faces or Uso face paint baby faces, because honestly, with the Usos, with the whole ghetto thug gimmick, they work better when they're heels, or if you're going to make them be faces, make them be gritty. Make them be the exact same way they would be if they were ass-kicking heels. You know? Don't change up their promos. Don't change up the way they approach shit. Make them the exact same. Yeah, that way it works out, because they still got that tough, gritty attitude, instead of that, whoa, 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 whoa kind of shit. Like, seriously? The fuck? Now, anyways, Usos come out. They look to go and challenge John to go and see if John will go out and spit a few words. He goes, he starts to, winds up making a reference on how they both look different than their mug shots. And then they bring out their daddy Rikishi, which Rikishi, man, I swear, he bathes in the same fountain. Him and Billy Gunn, they definitely know the location of the Fountain of Youth, because them two don't look like they really age. Yeah. And as it looks like Usos, Rikishi, and John are all about to go and do a dance off, have a dance break. Next thing you know, out come the top guys, Revival with Devon Dudley, which, let's all just appreciate the fact that Devon came out in camos instead of being a deacon. Because Deacon Devon, yeah, that went as well as a turd in a punch bowl. So, first match of the night, Usos, Revival. Revival, they were leading, going good, liked it. Usos wound up getting a hot tag, started cleaning house, and match wound up basically coming to an end when Scott Dawson, he was arguing with Rikishi, Devon was getting in it. It was a three-way screaming match. And then, next thing you know, Dawson turns around, boom, gets caught with a super kick, and then gets hit with a splash. 1, 2, 3. That is it. So, yeah. That's it. Next matchup, we got Viking Raiders going against Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins, and this went just as you would expect. The Raiders murdered Ryder and Hawkins. They hit him with the experience on Hawkins. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Yeah. Next matchup, we got Samoa Joe going against Roman Reigns, and this came to be because Joe came out, cut a promo saying on how he did not like the fact that they are doing a reunion show because they are making the fans view the olden days through rose-tinted glasses and all the highlights of then instead of focusing on the now, which is Joe, and started throwing out some shit about Rikishi being out there earlier, and then Roman comes out, you wanted to say stuff about my family, I'm right here. And then Joe just looks at him. Oh, I already said something about your family. Now I'm talking about everyone. Now I'm talking about this. Basically, and paraphrase mind you, and then Roman just looks, you know where this is going to go. Which then they lead to them two having a little bit of a scuffle, and then it leads to a match. And Joe pretty much was flooring Roman, you know, taking it to him. Really dug it, really liked it. It was a nice hard-hitting match. It was a nice hard-hitting match, which, you know, and I try not to do too much fantasy booking, but honestly, if I was going to do a fantasy booking from a guy now versus a guy then, you just imagine on how stiff of a fight it would be between Samoa Joe and Vader. You know, just picture that. And I'm talking Vader in his prime, mind you. Not Vader when he was in WWE. Because at that point, he was nowhere near what he once was. But anyways, match came to an end. Roman started to build a little bit of a comeback, and then boom, hit the spear right out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, that's it. A lot of people were shitting on the idea, oh well, of course Roman's gonna get the win. Now, dude, here's the thing. Where's the payoff? Because Roman gets the win. Roman and Joe are both SmackDown guys. So this leads into Tuesday night, which then leads to building up towards SummerSlam. You just had Joe get off of a title chase. Where are you going to have him go from here? You can't just have him go be out of the world title chase and then, you know, fade into obscurity and then boom, have him go back into a title chase again. No. Because then you're going to get pissy on that. You're giving them, doing this though, it's giving them something consistent and keeping them on TV and keeping them fresh. So that's basically the best way to go about it. Now, next match, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn. This came to be because it was a backstage little party and everything. You know, Tori Wilson was there, which, whew, definitely good thing I stocked up on heart pills for tonight, especially when they announced Melina was going to be there. Melina, Candice Michelle, whew, needed them damn heart pills. Anyways, there was a big party back there. Next thing you know, Sami Zayn's going through, looking at everyone like, this is basically like what would be if the Attitude Era went through the Face app. Which, God bless, that was a fucking beautiful heel thing to do right there. Shitting on it. Shitting on all the past legends like that. Doing it in that kind of a way. Next thing you know, Ray steps in. You got a problem, Holmes. We can settle this. And then, next thing you know, we're off to the races. Now, have a nice little back and forth at the start for the match. Next thing you know, just as it looked like Ray's about to go and hit the 619, boom, Sammy gets out. Done with you. Starts to walk off. Next thing you know, Rob Van Dam comes out. Which, Rob Van Dam, didn't he just sign with TNA though? Yeah, he signed with TNA. So Rob Van Dam from TNA is on Monday Night Raw. And then out comes Sergeant Slaughter. And then out comes the Hurricane. And then Kurt Angle. They don't put a hand on him, but they all just walk down, start scaring Sami back into the ring, which then leads to Ray hitting him, getting him tangled on the ropes. Then Ray, boom, 619, splash, 1, 2, 3, that's it. Rey Mysterio gets the win. Next up we got Uncle Allen, AJ Styles with the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson. They're not calling themselves the OC, which, okay, I dig, but, man, y'all gotta be ready for some serious jokes on this, because you're gonna get the OC jokes from the TV show, and then you're gonna get the OC jokes from California. You know, it's just, man, you know, honestly, I think it would have been better if they'd have just stuck with the club, you know, but beggars can't be choosers, and just from a fan perspective. Either way, Uncle Allen with the Good Brothers going out against Seth, you know, had a solid start, you know, had a nice solid tie-up right at the start. You know, I've said this before, one good way on how to tell if a match is going to be a good one or not, take a look and see on how the tie-up is. If the tie-up's good, if the tie-up's stiff and strong, man, you know, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be good. Now, just as it looked like the club had the upper hand on Seth, out comes Daddy H with Uncle Sean. DX comes out, backs up Seth, and then just looks like, oh, well, damn. And if y'all don't get the reference with Daddy H, you all know Seth is Hunter's tailored, groomed golden boy from the time he was in NXT up till now. You know, and I'm not saying that as a knock, but you know, sometimes very much so in the same way he groomed Randy. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, now with that said, match comes back on. We get some nice match comes back on after the break. Seth's leading. Next thing you know, it looks like Seth's about to go and end it. Goes for the curb stomp. The big LG Luke Gallows grabs Seth's foot, stops him. The Gallows and Anderson come in. They start pummeling on him. Next thing you know, Hunter and Sean, they start throwing at them. They clear the ring. Them three clear Styles, Gallows, and Anderson out of the ring. They go and grab chairs, get ready to circle and climb back in. Next thing you know, out comes Road Dogg, X-Pac, Nash, and Hall. And then they proceed to go and scare them all off and let Seth give them the send-off. If you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. So yeah, now we come to the closing match of the night. Braun Strowman destroying a local jobber, which, honestly, I feel sorry for this guy. I really hope he got a half-decent pay for getting murdered by Strowman, because right before he even started, he just got the mic. Don't blink, this ain't gonna take long. And then tossed him, slammed him, that was it. Now, the big highlights on this show were honestly the segments, and I don't normally talk about backstage or promos and all, but the big highlights on this show was the 24/7 title, because of the simple fact it bounced from R-Truth, the Drake Maverick, the frickin' Kelly, Candice Michelle, frickin' Medusa, Ted DiBiase, all the way back to frickin' Maverick Maverick, and then Truth, all the way at the end. So it's just, I can't put over on how much I fucking love seeing the 24/7 stiff segments. I fucking love them. They're fucking hilarious. If you can't appreciate the comedy aspect in that shit, man, you know, I feel sorry for you. I know I'm not a big comedy gimmick guy because it feels like it's being forced, but if you could do a story that's comedy and it hits and it makes me laugh, then by obligation I can't get mad at you. I can't get mad at you if you make me laugh. That's just a simple fact. So now we come to the closing segment. It starts off with the Nature Boy, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, jet flying, limousine riding, Ric Flair coming out, hyping up on how it's been a big reunion show, you know, and then brings out every legend that was sitting back there all night long, and then they bring out Hulk Hogan, which, you know, you can say what you want about him. I ain't gonna agree. I ain't here to agree or disagree about your personal views on Hogan. You know, I got nothing to say on that. All I'm gonna say is, he still gets a pop. You know, that's it. Hogan came out, hyped up on how it's his hometown, it's Tampa. They were hyping up the crowd, all this, that, and the other, and then boom, you hear the glass break. Austin comes out, Stone Cold, as JR would say, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, comes out. And then cracks open a couple Steve Weisers, cuts a promo talking about on how, you know, hung out with all the legends, did a podcast with Hulk Hogan, stayed up all night, drank beer, ate sushi, which honestly, I feel like part of my childhood is now coming full circle. I feel like my childhood's coming full circle now, hearing Steve Austin say he stayed up all night with Hulk Hogan, drinking beer, doing a show, eating sushi. And then he went to the bar, drank beer, listening to Ric Flair tell stories until the break of dawn. And then he got back up to room service, got back up to his hotel room, ordered room service, ordered a shit ton of quesadillas, cheeseburgers, pancakes, all that shit. It's like, we ain't done yet. And then proceeded to go and have some more fun. And then called everyone down to the ring and had a big Stone Cold salute. So, honestly, I can't argue. Then, if you do a nostalgia show the right way, then yeah, it's great. And this was the right way to do it, because they didn't go and pull out the guys from the 80s or the 70s. No, they brought out the guys that were from 10, 15, 20 years ago that made the business. That helped, or not made the business, but the ones that made the business to what it is today, I should say. That's what they did. And I dug the hell out of them for that. Now with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. Big thanks to new contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Make sure you check out their info down below. And like all normal, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Do also got another account if I ever get ghosted or put in Twitter jail. It's been a while since that's happened, actually. Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, make sure you let me know you found me on there from here. Or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious, so I don't think you got your creep John going. And folks, make sure you check out all these cool ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Cranky Asshole, Dazzy MWP, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And again, thank you for all the positive feedback last week. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.